Welcome back, students. We'll be looking at section 2.5, the practice problems for formulas and additional applications from geometry. So let's look at number 1 here. We have the perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times w. Remember, that's the formula for finding perimeter of a rectangle. So we're going to solve for w, and they tell us that P is 164 and L is 45. So we're going to substitute in the amounts that we do know. So I'm going to replace P with 164. I'm going to replace the L with the 45. And then we have plus 2W because we don't know W. That's what we're looking for. So I have 164 equals 2 times 45 is 90. And then the plus 2W. I'm going to subtract 90 from both sides. I get 74 over here, 0 plus 2w. Rewrite it, 74 equals 2w. Divide both sides by 2, and I get w equals 37. So we now know the width of that rectangle. Number 2, we're looking at a trapezoid. So we're going to have 2 different bases and height that we have to fill in. So they want us to find the area. We don't know the A. So we're going to have A equals 1/2. In parentheses, I'm going to plug in my base 1, which is 4, plus my base 2, which is 8, and then times 7, the height. A equals 1/2. 4 plus 8 is 12, and then rewrite the times 7. 1/2 times 12 is 12 halves times 7. And I get 28, or not 28, where did I get that from? 12 times 7 is going to be 84 over 2. And that will reduce to 42. So the area is going to be 42 on this problem. Now let's look at number 3. We're looking for B, so this side right here. They give us A, they give us C, and they give us the perimeter. So let's plug those in. We have 12 equals A is 3. We don't know B, so we're still going to have plus B. And then C is 5. Combine the 3 and the 5. We get 8 plus B. Subtract 8 from both sides. We end up with 4 equals 0 plus B. So B equals 4. Okay, now let's look at some word problems. Number 4, the width of a rectangle is 3 feet less than the length. The perimeter is 62 feet. Find the length and the width of the rectangle. All right, so I know automatically, since they want us to find length and width and they gave us perimeter, we're going to be using P equals 2L plus 2W. But now let's fill in our little pieces. So let length equal and let width equal. Okay, and then let P equal. All right, so it says the width of the rectangle is 3 feet less than the length. So they reference the length when they're talking about width. So that means length is going to be L, and width is going to be 3 feet less than L. So less than means the turnaround. So we're going to have L minus 3. And then it tells us the perimeter is 62. Find the length and the width of the rectangle. All right, so let's plug in our pieces. We have 62 for P. 2 times the length is 2L. 2 times the width is going to be 2 times L minus 3. 62 equals 2L. 2 times L is 2L. And then 2 times negative 3 is minus 6. Combine like terms. We get 4L minus 6. Now I need to add 6 to both sides. I get 68 equals 4L plus 0 which is just 68 equals 4L. I'm going to bring that up over here so I can finish solving. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I get L equals, let's see here, L equals 17. So our length is 17. Now we need to find the width. So remember we said that the width equals L minus 3. So we're going to plug in the 17, and we get 14 for the width. So length equals 17, width equals 14. And that's our answer. All right, moving on to number 5. A triangle is such that its medium side is twice as long as its shortest side, and its longest side is 7 yards less than 3 times its shortest side. First thing I notice is we have a triangle for one. I also notice that we have 3 sides labeled short, medium, and long. So I'm going to put the word let in front of each of those. I also notice that they keep referencing the short side. Whenever they talk about the other 2 sides, they always talk about the short side. So the short side, I'm going to make X. All right, so let's go back and read it. A triangle is such that its medium side is twice as long as its short side. Okay, so the medium side is going to be twice as long, so 2X. And then it says its longest side is 7 yards less than, which means we're going to be taking 7 away from something. So I'm going to write minus 7 here. 3 times the shortest side, so 3 times X. The perimeter of the triangle is 47, so we're going to let P equal 47. Now remember, A plus B plus C equals the perimeter. So I'm going to label our sides A, B, and C. A is our shortest side, so that's X. B is our medium side, so that's 2X. And then C is our long side, 3X minus 7, and then P is 47. Combine like terms, we get 6X minus 7 equals 47. I'm going to add 7. I get 6X plus 0 equals 54. So 6X equals 54. Divide both sides by 6. And I get X equals 9. Now we need to find the other 2 sides. We know our short side is 9 now. So let's see here, medium, or here, let me write short side. So short equals 9. Medium equals 2X. So I'm going to plug in that 9 and get 18. The longest side was 3X minus 7, so 3 times 9 minus 7. I get 27 minus 7, and the long side is 20. So the 3 sides are 9, 18, and 20. All right, let's look at number 6. Let me erase this part just so we can actually read it without anything in the way. Okay. The area of a triangular advertising banner is 96 feet squared. All right, so we've got an advertising banner. Okay. If the height of the banner measures 12 feet, so let's label this 12 feet, that's our height. Find the measure of the base. All right, so we're looking for the base. And remember, the area of a triangle is A equals 1/2 base times height. So let's fill in our pieces. Oh, let me write that out. A equals 96 feet squared, just so we have our template. Okay, so we have 96 equals 1/2. We don't know the base, so we're going to keep b there. The height is 12. So 96 equals 1/2 times 12 is going to be, or actually, let's just go ahead and multiply 1/2 times b. So we end up with 1b over 2 times 12. Let's do it that way. 96 equals 12b over 2. Bring this up over here. 96 equals 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we get 6b. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And I get b equals 16. So we're done with that one. Now let's look at number 7. A drum had a radius of 10.5 feet. Let's draw our drum and label it. So 10.5. Okay. What was the area of the circular face of that drum? All right, so remember, area of a circle is area equals pi r squared. What was the circumference of the drum? Okay, we're also looking for circumference. So circumference equals 2 pi r. Let's start with area. A equals pi r squared. Our radius is the r, so that's 10.5 squared. All right, so A equals pi times 10.5 squared is 110.25. Then we're going to multiply that times pi. All right, and we're going to get roughly 346.19. Now let's look for our circumference. So C equals 2 pi r. The r is 10.5. 10.5 times 2 is 21. 21 times pi is roughly 65.94. So we have area and circumference. Now let's find the measure of each angle. So number 4, we have the A plus B equals 90 situation. So I'm going to label this one A, label this one B. I'm going to replace A with 8x minus 1 plus what we have for B, which is 5x, and they equal 90. 8x plus 5x is 13x minus 1 equals 90. Add 1 to each side. I get 13x plus 0 equals 91. So I have 13x equals 91. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 13. And we get x equals 7. Now remember, we're not done. That's only the value of x. Now we've got to use that to find the actual measurements of our angles. So remember, the measure of angle A was 8x minus 1. And the measure of angle B was 5x. All right, so let's solve for measure of angle A first. We're going to plug in our 7 where the x is at. So 8 times 7 minus 1. We get 56 minus 1. So we get 55 for the measurement of angle A. The measure of angle B, we're again going to plug in our 7. So we get, well, if I can write clearly, 5 times 7. And that gives us 35. 35 plus 55 is 90. So it appears as though we've done the problem correctly. All right, let's look at number 5. We have A plus B equals 180. Remember, both those angles added together create that straight line. So that's 180 degrees. So I'm going to label these and then plug them in. All right, so the measurement of angle A is 20x plus 10. And then the angle B is 3x plus 9. And they equal 180. 20x plus 3x is 23x. 10 plus 9 is 19. We get 180. Now I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides. I get 23x plus 0 equals 169. Does that look right? Nope, 161. All right, so we get 23x equals 161. Divide both sides by 23. Then I get x equals 7. All right, I know my value of x, but again, I need to find my actual angle measurements. So the measure of angle A equals 20x plus 10. So let's plug in our x. 20 times 7 plus 10. I get 140 plus 10, and I get 150 for my measurement. Now for the measure of angle B. Draw a line there so we don't get confused. I get 3x plus 9. So 3 times 7 plus 9 is 21 plus 9. And the measure of angle B is going to be 30. 150 plus 30 is in fact 180, so it looks like we've done the problem correctly. Number 6. Now we're dealing with vertical angles, angles directly across from each other. And remember, those were A equals B. They equal each other. So I'm going to label this one A and this one B. And then I'm going to set them up equal to each other. 5x minus 129 equals 2x plus 21. Add 129 to both sides. End up with 5x plus 0 equals 2x plus 150. 5x equals 2x plus 150. Now I can subtract 2x from both sides. I end up with 3x equals 0 plus 150. I'm going to rewrite it up here. 3x equals 150. Divide by 3 on both sides. And I get x equals, let's see here, 50. All right, solve for each of my angles. So the measure of angle A equals 5x minus 129. I'm going to plug in my x. 5 times 50 minus 129. So I end up with 250 minus 129. And that gives me 121. The measure of angle B was 2x plus 21. 2 times 50 plus 21. So I get 100 plus 121, and that gives me, or not 121, 100 plus 21. Read my handwriting incorrectly. So 100 plus 21 gives me 121. They are the same, so we have done our problem correctly. Now we're going to solve for a specific variable. Let's look at number 7. They want us to solve for y. I'm going to rewrite the problem. Now remember, we still use the same steps to move letters or variables or symbols as we do when we move numbers. That doesn't change. So I need to move the ax away first. I'm going to subtract this whole thing, the ax, from both sides. So that becomes 0 plus by equals c minus ax. Remember, I can't combine them. I just have to rewrite it. So let me write this here without the 0. By equals c minus ax. Now we need to deal with the b that is next to the y. If there was a number there, we would divide it. We need to do the same thing, even though it's a b. So I'm going to divide everything by b. So I end up with y equals c minus ax over b, and that's our answer. So remember, the steps aren't any different. We just can't combine everything. It's going to be more spread out rather than simplified. Let's look at number 8. I notice in number 8 that we have a fraction of 1/3. What we need to do is get rid of that 1/3 before we start moving to anything else. And the way to do that is to multiply each side by its reciprocal. So let me write out the problem first. I'm going to multiply v by the reciprocal, which is 3 over 1. I'm also going to multiply 1/3 by 3 over 1. I'm going to sneak it in here, okay? I get 3v equals 3 over 3 pi r squared h. That 3 over 3 cancels and becomes a 1, so we don't have to write it anymore. So we have 3v equals pi r squared h. The pi and the r squared are both being multiplied against the h. This whole area is multiplication because they're right next to each other. And remember, when we need to move something that's being multiplied, we use division. So I'm going to rewrite this just so you can see the step individually. We're going to divide both sides by pi r squared. The reason I can go ahead and divide by both of them is because they're being multiplied against each other. So they're going to cancel each other out, and I end up with 3v over pi r squared equals h. And we have finished isolating h. Now look at number 9. We have the same situation. We have a fraction that we need to deal with. So we have a equals 1/2 lowercase b plus capital B times h. Before we get rid of our fraction, I want to point out the fact that we have a lowercase b and a capital B. Those are different values. You can't combine them because one is lowercase and one is capital. So that means they are not like terms. So make sure you don't make the mistake of combining them. Also, when you're solving problems, if you're solving for the value of a capital letter, make sure you enter it as a capital letter, not a lowercase letter. All right, so now let's do the multiplication by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 2 over 1 on both sides to cancel out that fraction. We end up with 2a equals 2 over 2, and the rest stays the same. All right, that 2 over 2 cancels, so we end up with 2a equals, in parentheses, b plus capital B times h. Now what we need to do, let me rewrite it so you can see the step that we're actually going to perform, is we have that b plus b in parentheses multiplied against that h, okay? We need to move that h, and since it's multiplication, we're going to divide both sides by h. That is going to give us 2a over h equals b plus capital B. Now we can actually move the capital B because they wanted us to solve for the lowercase b. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to subtract it. Subtract b. And our answer ends up being 2a over h minus capital B equals lowercase b. And that's our answer. All right, let's look at our quote. Mathematics, even in the simplest application, often transcends thought and experience. As a language, mathematics can be used to tell us what we do not know, to explore the unknown. These are places of stillness and tranquility, where we can gaze upon what is unattainable and unknowable. Hans Freudenthal. All right, guys, hope you're having a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.